Hi, my name is Joseph, and today I want to discuss Mega Man NT Warrior, specifically the first season, which aired in Japan originally from March 4th, 2002 into March 31st, 2003, and in the West it aired from May 17th, 2003 into August 21st, 2004. So when it comes to Mega Man NT Warrior, the show actually came out during a time where I was kind of growing out of cartoon shows. And also, I can't recall specifically, but I believe Mega Man NT Warrior was also coming out during the same time with another show, another cartoon I was watching. So because of that, although I did want to watch Mega Man NT Warrior because I did play Battle Network on my Game Boy Advance, it was always a show I never really got into specifically, or personally, rather. Despite that, though, I do have some memories of watching an episode here or there, but never anything from the first episode all the way into the end. So when Capcom announced that they'll be releasing the first two seasons of Mega Man, I think the first season is called NT Warrior, and then the second season is called Axis. But I think as a whole it is called NT Warrior. But Capcom announced that they'll be releasing the first season in its whole in English on its YouTube channel, and season 2 Axis Warrior, or I think just Axis, on its YouTube channel as well. I did finish the first season, but the second season, to my understanding, is in Japanese. It's not just English. I think there are some that are dubbed, but the majority are going to be subbed. So I'm not going to lie. While watching Mega Man Battle Network NT Warrior, I did have it on in the background. I wasn't actively putting the show on and sitting in front of the screen to watch it. I had it on the background when I did things such as washing the dishes, sweeping. I'll have it in the middle of the table and I'll just sweep whatever, right? While it's playing games like Destiny's PvP, I'll just have that in the background. But that's it. If my game required me to focus on the story or the narration, I wouldn't have it in the background. So essentially, even though I had it in the background, I did my best to listen to the dialogue and to watch it when I can. And I have to say, maybe in the future I'll rewatch it subbed to just see the difference between the lines. But it actually wasn't that bad for a children's show. There were some elements that were quite cool. Obviously, one does need to keep in mind it is a children's entertainment show, so that is going to play a factor into the quality of its themes. Because actually, I think the writing was okay. I don't think it was that bad. It's just that obviously the themes of its symbolism and themes will not be as nuanced as in other stories. But even compared to other kids' properties like Digimon, for example, it wasn't as deep as Digimon. There was a lot one could dig into in terms of motifs, symbols, themes, character arcs, and so forth in Digimon. But again, despite that, the cast was great. I think the voice acting was pretty decent for the most part. I'm not gonna lie, I did play the games growing up, so for me, Mega Man's voice was never really that deep as the anime. But I did get used to his voice, and I'm glad that I did watch the first season because I am currently playing the Battle Network Legacy Collection, and I love how they got the original voice actor for both the Japanese Mega Man .exe and also the English Mega Man .exe. And if I hadn't rewatched the first season, I don't think Mega Man's saying, "Oh, I've been thinking about you," or "Hey, let's hang out together and play some games." I'll be like, "Oh, this is just kind of silly," right? But since I did watch the anime, I'm like, "Oh, it's just a little bit fun. I like this little reference to the anime. It's cool. I enjoy it." Would I recommend Mega Man NT Warrior? That's a great question. The reason why I paused a little bit is just because I do need to think about how to respond to that. I'm going to be honest. If one is not a Mega Man Battle Network fan, it might not be worth one's time. So let me break this down. If one is just a regular Mega Man fan, I think it'll be fun. If you grew up with the classic 80s Mega Man, and I do think there was a cartoon for that as well, with Mega Man Rush, Dr. Light, and everything like that, you might enjoy this to see how the property is transforming, kind of like Transformers. I personally did not grow up with the Cars Transformers. I grew up with Beast Wars and Beast Machines, right? Properties that's part of the franchise of Transformers, but obviously it's not one for one. I know a lot of Transformers fans, they didn't like that they turned into dinosaurs and they preferred vehicles, automobiles, and so they didn't follow along. But other Transformers fans, they were able to appreciate, oh, it's different, but it's still the same characters that I'm familiar with, just told from different perspectives, told from a different way. So if one is a classic Mega Man fan, you might enjoy the anime. If one is a Battle Network fan, so you haven't seen the anime but you did play the games, I think you're probably more than likely going to enjoy it as well. The first season seems to be a slight adaptation of the first Battle Network game. Right now I'm on scenario 6, so I just did the stoplights and fought Clown. No, I'm sorry, Color Man, or Wacko Man as he's known in the anime. And that's also a factor to consider. If one did play the Battle Network games, the names might confuse you a little bit with an asterisk. I say that because as someone who did grow up playing Battle Network games, and I just watched the anime for the first time recently, going back to the Battle Network games, I thought for sure the names being different between Wacko Man, Color Man, Fireman, Torchman, I thought that would confuse me. But honestly, it's really not. I'm actually gravitating towards the game names more than the anime names. And I think, again, it's because subconsciously I remember playing that when I was young, so it's re-emerging from my consciousness. Same thing with the character voices as well. I went like this because when I'm reading the dialogue from Lan and Mega Man, at first it wasn't the anime voices, but naturally my brain kind of just put in my own voices for those characters. And again, Mega Man's voice is not as deep. But I think it's only because I had that experience, and so it consciously, from my subconscious, came back up, rising again. So yes, and then obviously, lastly, if one is a Battle Network fan and they grew up with the anime, then no brainer, of course I recommend it. It's probably going to be a fun time for those people who did watch it when they were young. So to reiterate, if one is a classics Mega Man fan, I recommend watching the first 2 to 3 episodes. If one is a Battle Network fan but they played the games but never watched the anime, I definitely recommend the first 5 to 7 episodes. And then lastly, if one did play Battle Network and they grew up watching Mega Man MT Warrior, of course, I highly recommend to rewatch it again. Why rewatch it if you've seen it already? Well, to show Capcom that there's support for Mega Man and Battle Network specifically over here in the West. Have you seen Mega Man MT Warrior? What are your thoughts on it, despite it being a kids anime, right? Are you able to still enjoy it? Are you able to sit down and watch it in front of a screen, or were you like me and you had it on in the background? But despite that, I more than likely will check it out subbed in the future. Maybe not anytime soon. Maybe give it a year's time, give or take. But I will be watching season 1 subbed, and for sure I'll be watching the second season Axis subbed or dubbed, or if it's both, I don't mind. So take care, everyone. Have a great day, and thank you for listening. I do appreciate it.